We've just finished discussing how a small portion of the world's population is responsible for a large majority of the resource consumption and therefore have a disproportionately large environmental impact. But how is that environmental impact measured? What goes into that? One way of measuring environmental impact is through a tool called the ecological footprint. Ecological footprint is a system that was developed to measure the total impact of a person's consumption, production, and waste. The unit of measurement that it uses to do this is land area, with the assumption being that everything you consume, everything you produce, and all the waste that you discharge requires the productive or absorptive capacity of a defined area of land or water. So, for example, if you consumed a loaf of bread, a certain land area is required to grow the crop used to make the ingredients that bread. A certain amount of fossil fuels are used to power the machines that are involved in growing it, harvesting it, processing, transporting it, moving those ingredients. And those fossil fuels produce carbon dioxide and other emissions that have to be absorbed by plants or dissolved in the ocean. So, all of the consumption and production and waste involved in everything that a person does can be related back to land. And this is a really concrete and tangible way to understand the environmental impact of a person. For example, the lifestyle that the average American lives requires 5.1 hectares of land to support all of their consumption and activities. The total surface of the Earth is 51 billion hectares, but only 7.4 billion of those are usable for producing the things that support human life. If you run a calculation, assuming that every person on Earth, not just Americans, was using 5.1 hectares of land to support their lifestyle, then we would need not just one, but two additional Earths, the resources of three total Earths to maintain that lifestyle for everyone. Now, that just pertains to people in the US who consume more than the average person on Earth. In this graph, you can see an estimate of how the total number of Earths needed to support the worldwide population has been going up over time. This graph is old and stops at 2003, but in the current year, the number of Earths needed to support the global population is 1.75. You will actually be calculating your personal ecological footprint as a part of an assignment for this class, so stay tuned for that.